Hungary finally ratifies Finland to join NATO while protests in France continue. The 299 news started yesterday.
Welcome to the 299 News. I'm Aiden.
And I'm Cole. Boys, I have breaking news. And today we have two special guests with us. Returning is Drew, and we have our new guest today, Gavin. Welcome. Would either one of you like to say anything before we begin?
Yes, I would like to say something.
Say that I'm hyped to be back here. You know,
I would like
to do nothing.
I would like to say that I'm happy to finally be on this podcast, and I hope to bring light to current events in the world and do my best here. You know, I feel like this has been something I've been trying to work up for my entire life, and I'm finally here. So yeah.
Drew?
You worked up for nothing.
Drew, would you like to say anything?
No, not really. Other than I'm hyped to be here. Oh my god, dude, you hit it again.
Again,
dude.
Alright.
Let's just
For
roll
our
with it.
first,
Let's just
for
roll
our
with
first
it.
topic, for our first topic today. Alright. For our first topic today, we'll be going immediately to our France expert, Drew, about the protests that are ongoing in France currently.
Thank you, Cole. I greatly appreciate it. So, the French president, Emmanuel Macron, tried to, wants to raise the retirement age in France by 2 years. Now, the thing is that usually there's a vote for this, right? This time there wasn't. It passed without a vote. So, naturally, this pissed off the entire French public, and, thusly, a strike has been declared, and that's why France is on fire and trash is in the street. Most political parties, other than Macron's, of course, have stated that if they win power, they will reverse this decision. And that's really all I have for it right now. There's not much coverage of it because it's proof of a good example of what happens. I'd like to pass it back to you guys.
So I've heard stories that the French people are throwing trash bags at the riot police and burning down city halls and marching the railways. I've seen it's millions and millions of people through videos.
I wouldn't say millions and millions of people, but most definitely a couple, maybe tens of thousands of workers are striking.
Oh, my bad
Now,
for
I'm
the
not
number.
sure about if the source is credible on this. However, I've heard that French workers and the electricity have shut down electricity to richer neighborhoods and just except for schools and hospitals, and they are allowing them to get power for free, which is cool.
No.
I'm not particularly in this case. I am not particularly well knowledge in this particular topic, even though I'm very intelligent when it comes to French.
So, is there a possibility that the president of France steps down?
Maybe. However, considering how long the protests, riots at this point in the strike, have been going on, most likely not. However, his party will most definitely lose the next election. Hopefully, a new left party takes hold and reduces.
Because last election it was Jean-Marie Le Pen, if I'm correct, right? That was his main competitor in the election was.
Yeah, so how French elections work is that you have you have 2 rounds. First is the round where everyone goes. There's like 200 different parties. And there's the second round with the 2 most popular. Last year, I believe Macron won by a significant amount. So, that's good to hear.
Oh, I heard it was a close election, but maybe I'm wrong.
He won by a lot, but it wasn't like 50 to 40.
Oh, okay.
It's like 53, probably.
So how have other countries dealt with the French protest? Do you know?
By not covering it at all.
Okay.
That's essentially how my knowledge goes on this. I am not particularly well versed in this riot.
Does anybody else have anything they want to share about France and the protests going on there before we move on?
I do have another thing.
Okay.
The prime minister tried to give a speech. However, like a small, well, like a, I don't know how, well, the point, I guess a speech would be the right word, to the, French parliament, and, the, left wing, the, what was that, is it like I think they're Democratic Socialist Party, I don't know what it's called, stood up and started singing the national anthem, louder than her speaking, and that was kind of funny. Also, apparently, like, the French parliament, you can dress really casual. Like, you can stroll up in jeans. Like, in the US, right, there's, like, a guy in the Senate, so if you come out with jeans, you'll get shot immediately.
Like, can I show up in shorts?
Oh, no, you get shot, I'm sorry, man. Like,
Ah,
yeah, you have to dress up in, like, actual good clothes.
it has to be in jeans
Yeah, no.
or khakis. It has to be either jean or khaki with a polo. Next, we're going to move on to Gavin. You said you wanted to talk about the conflict between Sweden and Hungary.
Wait, say again. You want me to elaborate what?
On the, you can't...
Sweden versus... Yeah, on the Sweden-Hungary conflict. You said you wanted to
It's not
talk
really
about
a
that.
conflict. It's more like just like they're just
A dispute.
there's hate going back back and forth between each other currently. They're saying that Sweden should not be allowed to join NATO because of past grievances. That's the majority of the problem.
Well, what are
Such
those
as what?
grievances?
What are those past grievances?
You can't
Give me a
talk
second.
about grievances and not shut up, Kevin.
What?
You can't just talk about grievances and not show it, Kevin.
Hungary says that grievances are holding up ratification for Sweden and NATO. Alright, let's read this real quick. Sweden, neighbor of Finland, blah blah blah, Prime Minister. Yeah, blah blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I've been really keen to bash. Denies these allegations. Stockholm has taken a hostile attitude towards Budapest for years, says their prime minister.
Well, yeah, no shit.
Adding Ankara's woes and grievances does not leave much room for maneuver, at least not until the Swedes start changing their tune and helping these lingering wounds heal. That's all it says. So,
Sweden is correct when it comes to this. I mean, Hungary isn't really a full democracy.
no, Hungary is not a full democracy.
Well, I'm not even sure if it's a democracy anymore. It's like they hold a vote, but no one cares.
Hungary's deputy parliamentary speaker said, "We support Sweden's NATO membership." Hungarian lawmakers have raised doubts about whether to support the NATO membership applications by Sweden and Finland. So, it doesn't necessarily say what they're upset about on here. So, to be honest,
Well,
I'm not.
there's not much to
so
go off at.
Yeah.
What do you
So
think,
I say
Ian?
we move on. Drew, we're switching topics. You said you wanted to talk about the Ukraine war and specifically weapons being moved.
Yes, we have visual evidence, primary sources, that T-55 and T-54s have been taken from museums and random storage depots, slightly modernized, before being shipped to the Ukraine front. Now, this is a stark
Could you
contrast.
explain what those are for our audience?
So the T-54 and T-55, well, it's mainly T-55s, are a Soviet tank made in the year 1955. It was made to mainly to battle on the plains of Eastern Europe, and at this point, without modernization, it's obsolete by a mile. It was the main tank of the Warsaw Pact, and if you look at photos of the Czechoslovakia,
I thought the T-62 was.
Hmm?
I thought
that was
T-62
later. That was later. T-62, as it says, is made in the year 1962.
What about the
Anyway.
T-64?
It was made in 1964, that means.
That is
Yeah.
not true, actually.
That's what they do with most of their tanks, by the way. Most of them is just a year. Can we please move on? All right.
Yeah.
So, visual evidence from people looking at trains being sent down shows that these tanks are most likely getting, a bit, some tweaks to make sure they actually work, and are being sent down to the Ukraine front. Now, most likely this is going to mainly Russian forces, with maybe like one or two being sent to Donetsk army. However, I've like no footage, or I haven't really seen any evidence of them even fighting at this point. I'm not even sure if they have an army.
Wait, what
But
are we
it's all-
talking about here?
Whether or not the tanks are going to Russian forces or Donetsk forces.
It's probably
However-
going to Luhansk or Donetsk forces.
Are you sure? Because
No,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
no, no,
gonna-
no, no. That nation, no. Those two separatist states have been known to field vehicles like T-62s and or T-55s. They're the most acquainted with them, and it doesn't require training whole new crews on them.
why would it not require training of whole new crews?
Well, first of all, that means pulling
experienced
Russian
guys-
forces. That means pulling Russian forces off of their current platforms they're already operating on, and then putting them on an obsolete on a more obsolete platform. Like to be honest with you, I've only seen some videos about tank destroy, probably only a few dozen at this moment, because a lot of it isn't because it's the most documented war, but there's a lot of combat that's in what.
That's never mind. Just continue.
Well, I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that like we've seen a lot of evidence. In my honest opinion, I just try to when I see a lot of evidence about this type of stuff, I tend to want to try and get like the full picture first, see what one side's saying, see what the other side is trying to say about a situation, because that's the problem I've noticed. Like for instance, with the Ghost of Kiev, that was entirely a myth that was made up. I mean, it's a problem with these types of wars, especially one where their political ideologies are so completely different. It can be kind of like it's kind of like a he said she said kind of thing. Even when even when involving Twitter, somebody tried claiming actually recently, it was I don't think this really matters, but it's a pro-Ukrainian account. They tried claiming that T-34 is being sent to Ukraine. They showed footage of a train carrying T-34s, but in fact that footage was found to be from 2019 in a completely different section of Russia. So that's a problem. And they bought them from Laos in order to put them in museums, movies, and parades.
Wasn't that still a bit embarrassing that you're sending that should be in a museum to fight? Never mind, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
yeah, but there's still
this podcast, not a debate.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree with you about that, but the problem is like the misinformation is a huge issue. You already know this.
Yes, I do know this. However, there is definitive evidence that now most likely they will be absolutely destroyed by a leopard. Very funny. And that's really all I have to say about that.
Well, thank you. Does anybody else want to add anything before we move on?
Actually, yes, I would like to add something about the subject.
All right.
So on the subject of tanks being used in Ukraine, we got to keep in mind that these are militaries that had similar structures at the beginning of the war and had similar firearms and weapons at the same time. They're still operating post-Soviet gear, both nations. And it shows pretty well, actually. Because, for instance, both sides, they're now using T-55s. I know, for instance, Slovakia, they sent a lot of those to Ukraine at one point. And there has been confirmed reports of Ukrainian tank units that do use T-55s in combat. Same with T-62s. It's more or less a situation where both sides are using it. That's why whenever I hear like people try to say it's one side only, people forget that at the same time they're both dealing with supply issues. One has a stronger industrial base. The other one has not as strong as an industrial base, but has Western support. So during this war, we're going to see a lot of tanks be sent in. We're going to see a lot of blown up tanks. And another thing I feel like people forget is Russia has a industrial complex. It may not be as good as, for instance, us in the West at all, because all the. I was about to say that. It may be very corrupt, But at the same time, we also got to keep in mind they are still building T-72s, they are still building T-90s, and they are still building T-80s. It's a thing that people tend to forget about this type of conflict. That like they're still making gear. Just I feel like a lot of the information people are saying just kind of has to do with like I don't know, just shitting on Russia. That's what I see the majority of people saying, just so they can just get in their word. Because everyone agrees Russia is shit, but everyone also forgets they still are making shit. They like, oh, they're sending in World War II gear.
I'd like
Yeah,
to make
both
point.
sides are using fucking World War One machine guns. It's like
but let Drew make his point now. Thank
So
you.
about the thing about each side having post-Soviet gear. Ukraine has mainly been using AK-74 modernized variations. Now, in Russia,
Is that
has
Mason in the
even-
background?
Yeah, that is Mason. Shut up, Mason. I think we're good. So, thing is that Russia mainly used the AK-12, which is their, I believe it's the newest.
no, AK-12 has not been used in combat because of the fact they discontinued the line. It's more or less the AK-105, AK-103, AK-104. That's the line of AKs they're using currently in combat.
All right, so we're using those. Now, that is very different from an AK-74 made around start production in the 1970s. Now, and the thing is that Russia has built itself as a modern military. They parade with all this brand new modern gear. They show it off in military shows. They even have a tank Olympics where where no one else competes except them. Now,
I mean, it is a lot of their allies in the CSTO and China that do compete as well. But then again, you're all right. It's just basically them.
So, the thing is that it's supposed to be that Ukraine. It makes sense. It makes sense that they have this older gear. There's a point to it. Russia, it's not supposed to. The myth. It's a myth. The modern Russian military is a myth. It's gone. It's been destroyed, reduced to rubble. Now we're starting to see them pull more and more shit out because they can't produce it fast enough. And if you want new designs, well, the engineer who just got his degree, they're probably moving to Germany rather than staying in your hellhole.
At the end of the day, if Putin wasn't in office and didn't make a lot of the decisions that he did make, like for instance reducing the amount of options the enlisted had in service, same with officer corps, they would have probably have a stronger military in a sense. Same would deal with corruption. I don't understand why, as a leader of a nation, he wouldn't want to kill off corruption. That seems like something that he would want to do.
That keeps him up.
That's the whole point.
The whole point is that that his entire nation is corrupt.
The whole point is he's the leader of a mafia country.
Mafia state, is that what we call it?
He does favors for the rich people do favors for him.
The rich people the only favor they do for him is keep him in power.
Yeah.
He should just kill them all and then replace them.
You can't do that. That's your main power base. If
you can't do that because otherwise he gets. That's his whole. He creates a power vacuum for himself.
Who's gonna be filled? Their children who probably hate you for father.
All right, I'm gonna switch topics.
More nuanced and complex than just kill them, guys.
All right. Well, speaking of Russia, yesterday Hungary ratified Finland to join NATO, which means that Finland here soon will likely join the NATO North Atlantic Treaty Organization Defense Alliance, which is mostly led by the U.S. and other Western powers.
Let's go! Yeah! Yeah!
If Finland were to join NATO, then NATO would have an over 800-mile border with Russia now, and would put them even closer to St. Petersburg, but give them more control over the Baltic Sea. So, what do you guys think about Finland joining NATO finally? And all this historic build-up from the Winter War all the way up till now.
Dude, now we got the Finns. Dude, Russia stands no chance. Dude. They're completely surrounded at this point.
Yeah, but also I feel like the decision now puts more pressure on Vladimir Putin, who's already made an irrational decision by invading Ukraine
I think that's the
directly.
point. Is that
Yes,
you
but-
can't do that anymore.
Yeah, but he can also just push a red button and blow up Finland,
Right.
or Berlin, or London,
Right.
or Paris, or
That's
Washington
the funny
D.C.
thing. He's a little.
I don't
You
know,
think he can
man.
actually do that? No, he's a little fucking.
He got
Hey,
some
There's
bleeping
no
out to
way
do.
that he has balls big enough to hit the red button and blow up the world. No, that's not no. That makes no sense. You can't say, "Well, if I can't have Russian ethno state, no one can." Boop. No. Putin's too much of a little head, little boy, to actually do anything meaningful other than kill at least 50,000 of his own Russians, of his own Russian, of what he probably believes to be the Russian super race. Come on, let's be real.
Season 2, instead of making fun of Elon Musk, we make fun of Vladimir Putin.
Oh, dude, don't get me started on Elon Musk. He's so.
No,
stupid,
no, that was
dude.
last season.
No,
that was
no,
last
no,
season.
no. We're done with Elon Musk.
Fine.
No,
Honestly,
we were done last season when we made fun of Elon Musk. Alright. We're gonna switch over to tech news. Eden, take it away.
All right,
Yes.
awesome.
Elon Musk.
Finally, my big moment here. Okay,
Yay.
3 stories. That's it.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay. First up, there's rumors and speculation that Apple might be releasing a mixed reality headset.
That's supposed to be.
Like a VR headset?
I don't know. It's like
But
VR and
mixed
AR.
What? What the Guys, I need to be able to see with my VR goggles on, guys. Let me see, guys. No, it's called VR for a reason. You don't need AR in there as well. That's something you do with your fucking phone.
Yeah. Hey, Cole. You remember the
Yeah.
kissing machine segment?
Yes. Oh my god. Please don't.
Okay. Anyway, enough of that. So they might unveil it at WWDC in June, which it's a developers event, so it makes sense. So while it's going to be an online event this year, Apple's also hosting. They're going to invite students and developers on campus for our special experience, as they call it, on June 5th. And basically, it's probably going to kind of be because they're demoing the new unit, and let everyone check it out, you know. But here's the thing. That unit is going to cost possibly $3,000.
Guys, I got $3,000 right here, right now.
Dude, you
Who
can
wants
just buy
one?
another VR headset.
$3,000 these nuts.
Yeah,
That's
You're done,
more
guys.
than rent. That's more than the average rent in the fucking US.
yeah,
Double! It's more than double!
yeah.
Why?
I don't
Just
know.
buy another VR. There's no point. People will just
Dude.
buy another VR headset.
Dude, you might as well buy a car for that kind of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could buy a fucking car rather than guys. Apple.
Yeah.
They said shut the up.
Okay,
Listen, you
moving on.
That's 4.
Enough of that mixed reality BS.
Is there more tech news?
Yeah, and there's more tech BS going on.
Oh.
And there's
Uh,
more.
All right.
Call now.
Billionaire and OpenAI co-founder Elon Musk and Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak and other tech leaders are calling for a pause to the AI race, ignited by ChatGPT. Some argue that the technology is diverging from its original purpose and it could eventually become a potential threat to society. Do you
It's
guys
because
think
people-
do you guys
it's because
think
people- Sorry, go ahead.
do you guys think we need to stop the AI game, or do you think we should keep it
Yes.
going?
Dude,
Yes,
people are
stop
making porn. Dude, people are making porn out of AI. I'm not having it. No.
Honestly, though, we already have. Wait, hold on. How do you guys think AI like ChatGPT and other AI that people are programming to do deep fakes and shit like that to such a heavy degree with the voices, and facial movements stuff like that? How do you think that's going to impact presidential elections? Actually,
Okay, look. So
I'll stop.
coming off of deepfakes, you get to blowing up on YouTube's like Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and Barack
exactly.
Obama.
Deepfakes are
saying
going to ruin the election.
Yes.
They're entertaining as heck.
Have you guys
I'm not
seen the
gonna-
video? Have you guys seen the Ben Shapiro
think about how they can be
video?
weaponized.
Yes,
think
I have
about
seen
how
it, Drew.
Think about how deepfakes can be weaponized. Think about that real quick.
Yeah. All right. Finally, after that interesting conversation we had about AI. Less than an hour ago, The Verge is reporting E3 23 is being canceled for the 4th year in a row, but not because of reasons relating to the pandemic. An internal email to E3 employees reveals that E3 2023 simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of the gaming industry. The announcement also comes as Nintendo, Ubisoft, and Microsoft revealed they would not participate in this year's E3.
What the
So,
man?
yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Because Nintendo's got their own thing. They got their Nintendo.
I know they have
Switch
directs,
where
but so does Sony and Xbox. But this is supposed to be the big dude. This is where you get the big stuff.
Yeah, and it's just...
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I have an idea. I have an idea why they didn't show
You
up.
could have gotten more than 3, dude.
Simple. There's a simple reason why they didn't show up.
What?
It's because they don't have any games they're going to be developing this year.
Makes sense.
They literally are. They're literally developing.
I have
Metroid
not
Prime
heard.
4,
I have not heard of a
Link,
new COD being made recently.
Legend of
concerning.
Zelda 2. But they didn't do. They didn't even do one last year.
No, they made a COD last year. They made Modern Warfare 2.
Sorry, I meant the year before. 2021. Let's say. Sorry.
No, they did.
Oh,
They
that was
made Vanguard.
wasn't it?
Mm.
Yep.
Oh, I thought they took a break for a year.
And I have not heard of anything of a COD being released here, which is a sign
Finally.
that the gaming industry is dying.
No, because they already announced that they're going to stop making yearly releases of COD.
I wouldn't go as far as to say the gaming industry is dying. I'd just say it sucks.
Gaming industry will
honestly.
never die.
Like the AAA gaming industry is falling apart.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know.
I mean, look at
I
Halo,
haven't-
dude. It's $20 to buy one helmet.
That's not right. Look at EA. How about
Right.
that? Look at EA.
There we
I
go,
can
EA.
get better bang for my buck buying a skin in EA's Battlefield than I can get from buying a Halo helmet.
Nah, it's not that bad.
Like that is bad.
It's not that
There,
bad.
no. Have you seen the issues with the with like buying shit when it involves Halo Infinite? It is the most. It is the most like. Okay, let me tell you this quick. I own the game.
I can't. Play
I own the
games.
game. I play it, and I can tell you guys ahead of time. It is the aggressiveness of microtransactions nowadays is just too much.
Yeah.
Because like you can't even do anything. You can't even customize your character without having to pay money anymore.
Aiden, you have anything else to add for tech news?
No, that's pretty much all
Oh,
I
yeah.
got. That's pretty much all I got.
All right. All right, welcome to our sports segment, the final segment for today. We'll be talking about the NCAA tournament and everybody's brackets. So about my bracket I posted last week.
Oh, you two make brackets, didn't you? For Mountain
Yeah.
Madness? Oh no.
I did. I made another one last week on last week's episode.
Mhm.
It was a 1-minute video separate from the episode. Yeah, I did not do very well on it. I'm not gonna lie to you folks. I hope you didn't go with my bracket because it did absolutely awful. Of my Final Four teams, none of them made it to the Final Four. I went 0 for 4 shooting. So, but your Final Four teams are number 5 seed San Diego State, number 9 seed Florida Atlantic University, number 5 seed Miami, and number 4 seed UConn. They will be playing each other for the chance for the championship. And on the women's side, it'll be the 2-seeded Iowa with the National Women's Player of the Year, Caitlin Clark, who's averaged over 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists with an amazing year. And the 1 seed playing the 1-seeded undefeated for the last 2 seasons, or well, for this season and the end of last year, South Carolina. And then on the other side, it's 3 LSU taking on the 1-seed Virginia Tech. And lastly, for sports news, with the NFL draft now only about a month away, the Carolina Panthers hold the number 1 overall pick. And right now, they need a quarterback. And the only available options to them are C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, Bryce Young from Alabama, Will Levis from Kentucky, and what's his name? Anthony Richardson from Florida. Right now, sources say that they want to go with C.J. Stroud at number 1, but many people believe...
On the Florida team?
What?
Can we get DeSantis on the Florida team playing basketball?
Guys, our boy DeSantis.
40-year-old man.
So
Wait, he's not even physically fit, so it's like a little stomach bulge, like running around.
and also the Aaron Rodgers trade to the New York Jets, which has been set up to happen for the last week or so, has still not gone through, as the Packers and the Jets have not come to an agreement just yet. But Aaron Rodgers has said multiple times that he plans on playing for the New York Jets next season.
Question. I have a question. Is this the end of the podcast?
Yes.
Well, that's that. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment your opinion, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need subscribers to pay my rent, because I'm only free. Thank you very much. That was the 299